just finished talking about the fact that Winstrike beat Fnatic on it. So
that's a good point.
They've already played it in this event.
So is that a good thing for NiP to have the information and be ready to challenge them on it? We didn't catch that game, so we didn't get to see why Fnatic lost it.
Sure. Okay. Depends on how many other than the set 5 are watching, because I'm going to say with the long day yesterday, opening day of the major, it's not like they would have done too much to look into that game and say, oh, we know how we're going to counter-strat them or anti-strat them at this point in time. So it might get some notes from that. Interesting that you would look. I'm thinking it's still more of an advantage for Winstrike. They've already played it once this event. They're going to be a little versed. They're immediately going to identify their own mistakes and therefore adjust and adapt on those. So I'm not sure how to read that. Again, it's early. It's best of ones. It's a whole different team. Fnatic, we mentioned, did they not perform to the capability of their own sort of expectations, therefore giving Winstrike? There's a lot you could read into it.
Well, it looks like Winstrike will be starting on the CT side at least. That is an advantage of sorts. It's certainly preferred. It's up there with, not quite on the level of Nuke, but it's certainly a CT-sided affair, and I'm sure with the firepower Winstrike have, they'll be comfortable. They've also got World Edit there, pretty renowned AWPer on Train. He has consistency issues, sometimes doesn't turn out to maps at all, but historically Train is his best map. That's where he can do most of his great AWPing, and he's very flashy on this particular one. So I think we have a quick timeout here before we kick things off. We can have a look at the complexion of the round, at least right now. You can see Armour coming in for the CTs. Waylander with the smoke. I assume he gets a kit as well. An old school name for you, that. Don't see him as much anymore. He is technically Finnish, but has played in CIS teams throughout the entirety of his career. As you'll see on NiP, I think we've just got a slight headset issue. You can see the coach Pitts up behind them. If anyone's going to do the homework last night, it would have been him. He is very diligent in that particular department, so I've been told. So I'm sure he'll have notes. And I think you're right. No point in counter-stratting these sort of games in best of ones. Like you're setting yourself for disaster. Just be aware of their tendencies, their play style, their selling cues, what they're up to. But you have got some names here who have certainly caused upsets at majors before. We've obviously looked like Boomich, for example. World Edit, always going to be a little bit dangerous, and we'll see if Quick as well. Player actually a bit of fan. He's a pretty keen rifler. Could be a little bit troublesome, but you've got Rez on the side of NiP, who actually looks like he is getting back to not that amazing show-stopping form we saw back in Oakland in 2017, but he's at least finding consistency in terms of posting decent results almost every single game now, and not just having the odd crazy game and then looking very average for the rest of the tournament. So we'll see if he can deliver here as the buys finally come through. Looks like we are live. See NiP are the favourites here, as we'll see their buy come through. They've got 2 smokes. Suggests to be an outside take with 2 smokes either side of the bomb site. Flashes out, and they'll probably access through Pop Dog and try and get that bomb down as quickly as possible. It's Forrest with the upgraded weapon in the form of the PG-50. They'll hold up in a default for initial aggression, especially towards this inside area. I assume it's the outside take with the 2 smokes purchase, but of course they can change that up depending on how the round goes.
Boomich, this is aggressive. Already going to go out into A main. Gets away with it as well. Forrest doesn't respond to catch him, and it's a free kill. Was the bomb carry? That's kind of irrelevant. Forrest grabs that again. No damage even done. Great start. Bold start. Smoke still outside. NiP will stick to the original plan. So smokes go deep toward Ivy. This allows Quick Boomich to actually stay forward of them. That isolates though any rotations coming back through. Forrest swings past Sandwich. They haven't actually contested that position and rolled at it. Backside, he's going to catch him off. As soon as Get Right does go that way though, he gets traded immediately. It's Quick to find him. He's swung over. Lekro's going to take the same approach. 2 players pop out. Quick finds the kill once more, and Dennis drops to the same man. 3 for him, and the round with all 5 still alive to Winstrike.
Quite a convincing one as well. You could see Winstrike certainly aware of the tendencies of NiP. That was quite opening kill from Boomer. Such conviction towards that corner. He manages to find Rez and the bomb straight away. Gets out cleanly. Completely sabotages their attempts right at the get-go. As we get into that second round, we're expecting AKs in the third. So just an attempt to get the bomb down here. You got that one flashbang, presumably used towards inside. They'll hold up for initial grenades and pushes. Flash over, trying to get the bomb down somewhere. We'll see how that works out for them. Right now, just going to be holding up right into T-spawn and assuming CTs will be pushing either. I don't think anyone's going to give that a go in this sort of round. You want to make sure you're just holding back together, using the advantage of the rifles, of course, and making sure you keep 5 players alive. You do not need huge flanks here, so I don't see anything too crazy happening with that particular setup, and CT should just hold positions at this stage. We'll see. Like we said, that one flashbang, that's in the back pocket of Get Right. That'll be designed towards inside, flash through the window, I assume. Try and trade out one kill. Even if all four go down, they get one kill out of it. That means a plant is established. We'll see if that happens. They would have to kill just an MP9 player waiting at the front. It'll be Norbert, and then we've got, of course, here he is, the man of the moment. Quick will be holding out the AUG. Now, he's the dangerous factor here. The flashbang might enable them to get down towards lower. But will they be able to get the plant? That's all we're looking for. Here's the flash. Get Right deploys it. Not going to do much, and he's ready for it. The MP9 does enough, but still plant potential here. Quick's aware of it, and it will go down, Matt. So he's playing a safer game here. He knows if still on the round, he doesn't want to give up the AUG and potentially give it up.
Yeah, Norbert did quite a bit of damage. Got an assist on the third as well when the nade came in, but you're right, bomb down. That's an objective in itself, and a win for NiP because they'll get some money on that going in now with a third round bonus. I know that sounds confusing for those who are more casual to watching Counter-Strike these days, perhaps only tuning in for majors. Yeah, you start with one round in hand, essentially. If you lose the opening, the pistol, you get 1,900 as opposed to 14. So third round bonus, effectively. Bomb plant as well. They'll be ready to purchase. Fortunately, I suppose, for Winstrike, they've lost one, Norbert, and he got 2 kills on the SMG, so therefore he built up a surplus. He buys an M4, and they already had the AUG from Oss, whirled it on the AWP as well. So they've got enough rifles to actually challenge against these AKs that are going to be brought out.
Yeah, good point. NiP could have pulled the AWP as well. You can see Forrest, yet he has $1,000 left over. He had enough for AWP and armor, so didn't fancy it. Going to be sticking to their guns here in the defaults, presumably, and just seeing how that works out for them. Focusing heavily towards Ivy at the start. Some initial smokes and flashbangs over there to bait out the utility. And as far as we'll be pushing the smoke here and challenging aggressively towards Ivy. Luckily for him, no one spotting that position just yet, but Walden is now there with the AWP. We've seen this Molotov throughout the tournament. Smoke to the left to block the vision, then Molotov to the right to allow them to get towards the end of Ivy. As Boomich, though, actually in that main entrance, getting a ton of information, holding them off for a while.
Yeah, but just going to drop off of it as well. Lekro. He's still out toward Ivy at this position with the AK-47. It can be very powerful, but it's Get Right as well. Very standard default at this point from NiP. Similar to Cash, teams will take this approach where you put one toward the door on Cash and you put one out toward the sunroom or Toxic, whatever you prefer, and you let the other three kind of rotate and dictate the play based on that information. That's kind of what they've done here. The pick comes on Lekro. Now, Lekro would have been a lurk in this situation because they're setting up for a B take. If they'd gone, he would have maybe pushed backtracks, tried to catch out the rotators. Yes, okay, they're one down. The problem with that is they didn't hit immediately, and with that single kill and no other aggression, they just smoked off B and delayed NiP significantly, so they can set for this at this point on the defensive side.
Yeah, this is a really classic strategy from NiP, and you're right, that bait towards Ivy, not successful at all. The Molotov makes things a little bit uncomfortable. It's still a 3 versus 3 though. You can see Dennis incredibly low, and he's got the bomb as well. That's a bit of an issue. He does go for the plant here, and it could be grenades coming in, but luckily there's only flashbangs remaining, so the plant shouldn't be an issue here as Rez continues to cause chaos here towards that connector. Now his vision blocked by the smoke, and you can see the teammate Forrest making his way towards the lower ramp. They're going to have to play off each other here. When now gets the AK-47, he wants to push towards that lower ramp.
Oh, flashes go both.
No, what? That's so lucky.
Wow, that is insanely lucky. Flashes went both directions. I thought that might actually give Forrest the jump because he was going to peek on the back of his, and Will then it just fired into it. Low HP, he went down, but it's all on Forrest. He's found the kill on Waylander. Now he plays the ball, and we talk about this high side. So powerful. Doesn't have, the Molotov has to go for the peek, and Will then it was indeed committing. Is that ball in it?
No, he's cool. Either way, so
that seemed like an eternity before the round reset. I thought he was going to lose the op, but they carry it over.
That is such a classic Forrest clutch position. He's done so many amazing rounds from the upper ramp. It's insane, and he displayed that to perfection as well. He realized he has the advantage there. Wilder misses the crucial shot towards the upper ramp. He read it perfectly, had the AWP lined up, somehow misses it. For an AWP of his caliber, not to be expected. Forrest then takes down the diffuser. Then you saw the 5-second defuse coming. Wilder had to go for it. Picked up a kid off the floor, and at that point Forrest just times it so well. He beats him with like 0.5 seconds to go. Absolute god in that respect, and he opens up this round as well. He now has the AWP, takes down Wilder once again, back-to-back frags in that department. And then we have 5 versus 4, and NiP is holding up for the reaction, and it's coming through. You can see Waylander actually pushing in all the way towards that dumpster at Ivy. So now he's got himself stuck in position because they know exactly where he is. They can actually get towards that spot. Molotov now, he needs backup, and no one's on that side of the map. map, he is done for. If he gets one kill out of this, I'll be impressed. As he starts to take damage, there's the kill. And a little bit unfortunate, NiP don't go with more numbers towards that position. He's managed to bring it back to the 4-on-4. If he had a bit of utility, he would be able to survive and still might be able to. The flames not quite reaching him. As the smoke comes in from his teammate here, he might actually get away with this on 15 HP.
Might, in fact. Flash is going to make him second guess the possibility of crossing, but truthfully, they've already left. He's out of there. He's safe. He's got it.
It's so unfortunate for NiP. They throw the Molotov. It doesn't reach him until the last few ticks. So they had a chance there to get a nice 5 versus 3. Dennis went down. They really had to attack that together, knowing he was so isolated there. But still, Waylander somehow survives and gets out of a kill. And he's got the balls to actually push towards T-spawn here as NiP get ready for their inside take once again.
Morver has been impressive in that position with lesser weapons. It was the MP9 early on. This time, just the pistol. Still finds a kill. Does further damage. Now allows Boomich to slide up and take down both the players on the site. Did concede the bomb plant, but it's going to be Winstrike winning their third. And it comes on the back of a NiP round, which means, therefore, the bonus goes back to 1,400. We scratch it and go back to the way it should be, so it is a bit of a reset. Extra $800 certainly puts Lekro in buy range. I don't know if they'll want to completely go for that because, again, if they want to bring out an AWP, he's one of the guys who might wield it. 4,350. Next round, you're guaranteed.
Well, NiP at this point, even with the plant, just Deagles. Like we said yesterday, Lekro considered to be one of the strongest Deagle players in CSGO. He has done some unspeakable things with that particular pistol. We'll see if he can do it again. He's invested with the Deagle, smoke, flashbang. He's actually got armor as well. Up against the Orgs, which are so strong on train. You can see exactly why. It's got the scope on top of the weapon, and look how open this map is. So many long-range duels. You can sit back there and exploit that fact. It's an excellent rifle for train, and you won't see many M4s, let me tell you that. As NiP hold up again, waiting for mistakes. They did have presence towards Ivy before. I think Waylander maybe learned his lesson after the previous round. Doesn't want to give that a go once again, this time holding a lot more passively. As he knows the money's going to be weak for NiP. He doesn't want to push. He doesn't need the intel right now. They're absolutely fine holding passively. Inside might be an issue again. The bomb could get planted, but essentially they should be winning this round hands down.
Winstrike taking the early leads. Train, NiP. 1-1 match again. But it does spot them crossing. Elects not to fire into it. Wealth of experience on the world edit front. It's trying to fire into the smokes as well. They're getting quite close. He's got to be careful. He's got to get the reload in. Forrest has already swung from hell. He's got Waylander down again. Quick steps out. He does at least get Forrest before his teammate was left in the open. And world edit backtrack, still trying to hold it off. He'll spot the fact that the bomb is down. So too. Which and Norbert. And Quick's got the kill on Get Right. NiP's a team that it wouldn't surprise me if they went through, let's be honest.
Of course.
NiP, but at the same time, it also wouldn't surprise me if they went out. They're just that... I don't even want to say inconsistent. I just want to say they're just...
It's quite flat, aren't they? Like,
yeah, that's exactly what I think. Yeah. There's nothing that says to me that I can guarantee they're going to perform their best today.
Yeah, on their day, sure, they can still beat top 10 teams, and that can happen, but today they're going to have to pull their socks out. A rough start here, and this is best of one again. It's not a knockout game. This is both teams one win and one loss, but if they go down a Winstrike in a convincing manner, that really will knock the confidence further. This time they're looking to challenge the upper ramp, and he's so confident with his pre-aim towards that upper area. Goes in for another one, left on 1 HP. If he survives, that's great. No follow-up grenade, so he will get back, and actually it's not the biggest deal in the world. He's on 1 HP. This map train, it's so long range and so many orb positions you can tuck yourself into. It doesn't really matter. He's 1 HP. As long as he's alive, he can still find another frag and win this round for them.
Well, that it holding on top of the tanker. It's the off angle that we talk about at high. It means they're committed. They're further in.
Yeah, he's going to get this kill and then stay alive. Hopefully, that's the play he's going for right now. Maybe a little bit too exposed, but there it is, staying alive.
He spotted the, great second shot. That's a perfect follow-up. Bomb gets dropped inside. They're committed at this point. Lekro I almost want to see that from his perspective. That came pretty quick off the back of the kill on Norbert. That's a pretty fast snap for him on the AK. And that'll recover the bomb. Still down a man. Staying away from the Molotovs placed behind them, but this could be everything. Quick on flank. Ooh, Get Right reads it. Absolutely decimates him. Now it's all to play for. Opens up a chance to try and secure post plant, but not sure they're aware of the second position. The fact that Boomich has gone so far up, he just wants to counter off and check to make sure Waylander's clear, but they Get Right is stuck on the bomb train, and Boomich, he'll get the kill from Winstrike.
Great shot there from Boomich, and from Get Right as well. You're absolutely correct. That awareness to be ready for the upper rank peak, considering they've just planted as well in the CTs. It'll be a long flank for him. He nails that shot, but unfortunately Lekro can't do enough. And just to point out, I've kind of backed on my point that even though he's 1 HP, he got 2 more frags after that. This goes to show you, Train, if you have the AWP and you have a class AWP like that, it's actually absolutely fine. He gets tagged up. He found 3 kills in total after getting tagged down to just 1 HP. Just really reinforces that fact that NiP without the AWP in their wheelhouse could be an issue. And Lekro's gone for the old tactical purchase here. I discussed this in the last game. A lot of teams will drop this every now and then. It means you've got a chance of getting an opening pick and maybe a plant, maybe even going a bit further and snowballing. That's the philosophy behind this sort of purchase. If it goes horribly wrong and they don't get a plant, he'll be on a pistol or SMG next round. But I think a player like Lekro, he is the in-game leader for this squad as well. He wants to cause some damage here and just raise the spirits a bit. If he can make this round work out for them, they're right back into it. And as they send 5 players inside again, they're going to smoke down lower ramp, presumably Molotov towards the bomb train here, and we'll see if they can cause a dent. As the flash comes in once again from Get Right, they need to find some opening kills there. Lekro will have to deliver them.
Norbert swings back out, does allow them to get inside of the site, but it also allows for the rotations before him, which he has to confront. This is pretty impressive, though, from Lekro. He knows the situation. He knows he can get there. Ooh, good movement. Even I was surprised when he arrived on top of the train. Blinded completely by the smoke, he managed to get on top of the railing. Somehow still alive in all of this. Just flirting with everyone and somehow getting away. And, okay, I thought he would go from out of the frying pan into the fire, from one Molotov to the other. The other one extinguishes as he crosses over. Finally, though, he does go down, and it is Dennis and Get Right still in a 2-on-2 as Waylander finds one time is everything. I think Get Right's got this. He knows they're on top of it. The flash, the timing, the sound! Boom! He still got it. He still got it on time.
I feel like if he didn't stay on the defuse, Get Right missed enough shots. He had it.
It is. You're absolutely right. Get Right didn't get the kill in the end, so if he had held it for another second, the reset of the aim on the CZ, it's possible.
I feel like he just holds the defuse there.
I think Get Right was also very panicked because the flash took away the audible noise of the defuse. He didn't know how long he was on it for.
Yeah, that was touch and go. He barely did any damage on the challenge, but I guess just enough presence get him off the defuse. That was it. I felt like he had it though if he just held the bomb, and maybe he knows that too. Either way, NiP get that round. Wasn't really down to Lekro as well, but he did get a lot of attention. He pushed right down towards that connector. That's what you want to be doing once the bomb's planted and stopping those rotations, slowing it right down. The time the defuse attempt came in was like 6 seconds left on the bomb, so perfectly done in that respect. And NiP are on the board. It's now 5-2 against them. Boomich, low money, but he's been great at his main entrance position. He hears one go by and aware of the fact there's players towards Pop Dog. It will be a nice shot with the CZ, but doesn't look like it's quite enough here. Can Norbert salvage the situation with his flank with the MP9, and Dennis is taking down his own teammate. Rez runs into the flames. This could be round dependent, and we'll see what happens as Forrest has to try and claw his way back.
To the corner on the AK. Dennis was on top of the train, was watching out toward Old Bomb. They have some information to read on pretty much all facets of outside. Certainly more information garnered by the fact that the AWP shot was resounding from backtracks as well. So Dennis will reposition. Lekro wants to join in, has bomb, 41 seconds to cross over. There's a sense of uncertainty on the NiP side, though.
Yes, they've got 30 seconds remaining as well, Matt. They've got one Molotov, a galore for Lekro, and so far no sign of that bomb getting close towards the site. We'll see what can be done. As well, it seems very aware of their position. He spotted one there. It didn't seem to react to him. Maybe didn't quite catch it. Maybe in 4x3, didn't quite see him in the corner of his screen there. But still, they're getting closer. Now looks like the bomb will be planted by Lekro in a second as shots start to come through. There's the plant.
Check with one quick one to get on the Dennis. Norbert as well. Quick adds to Lekro. Done. This time they will get the defuse. Another reset going against NiP, and not a lot of money at all for them. So Solid. I have to say I'm impressed with Norbert. This is an addition that we've not seen from Winstrike over the last major. And so far, so good.
Absolutely. Looks like he's a safe pair of hands, not lighting the scoreboard on fire, but he's finding the impactful frags,
Yeah, exactly. In fact, at the bottom of the scoreboard, but he's been a bit of a rock, if you will. He's playing inside of the site. Every time they come to him, he seems to do at least his job. One trade, one kill.
Yep.
That's all you can ask for him.
Absolutely. That's what you want in a teammate, someone who can provide that sort of level of play and be safe to get one kill and slow them down instead of someone who will go off every now and then with a flashy play and be too aggressive throughout the rest of the half, So NiP will take the time out at this stage. As you said, their money not in a great state. They managed to win a partial buy before with one AK, so it's not completely destroyed. They've got about $3,000 per player, but that's still not quite enough to justify a real heavy investment here. We'll probably see Deagle and Arm at the very most, and that's Forest. Deagle. We see the Deagle a lot more on train. Obviously, we talk about those long-range encounters, and the Deagle certainly lends itself to that sort of gameplay. So it cost a bit more on the CZ at $700 compared to the $500. But it gives you a lot more chance of finding one digs. And at one point in the game, Dennis was considered the pistol king. He got a couple of those influential frags with the Deagle before, and Boomich flashed off, not punished though, as it will be Dennis trying to find that headshot, but Boomich beats him to the punch.
Well, then it's... there it is. You're right. He was ready for it. He didn't have the angle. Forrest, absolutely perfect with the Deagle. He does drop to the AUG. Speaking of drops, double drop on the shoulders of Giants. Let go and get right down toward the ladder. Quick Boomich. They're not anywhere near that, but they can still see it. Boomich as well with this position. He'll clear out everything toward A main. And then, yeah, done. Easy. One, headshot controlled. Two. Waylander got the second one, to be fair.
Well, Boomer's got 3 in total. He is doing work at that main entrance area. He's either inside the position itself, up close and personal at the mouth, or passive and just causing absolute chaos there. He's in the middle, looking fired up as well. This is the major, and this is where we've seen him do damage before these particular players. Round 10, 7-2 on the CT side of train. Hasn't got to that really scary point for NiP just yet. It's the T side of train. If they can post 5-6 rounds, that'd be ideal. And 4 is workable, as they won't have AKs this time. You can see Get Right with no utility whatsoever. This looks like it's going to be a set piece, maybe straight away. Get Right to lead the charge. His team will set up some flashbangs here, and I think they actually caught him. We'll see if Boomich can continue this strong form as he holds in towards Olaf. It will be quick to open things up, though. Takes down Dennis, but Rez is there for the backstab.
Well, that it and quick. You could forget about Rez in the backstab. They respond, but here we go. Get Right with something to work with, and Forrest has taken the map with it. He's going to move up onto the bomb. They had no idea because Get Right did all the work, but subsequently... I was going to say they have no idea about the flank. It's Get Right again, has the awareness. This time not the kill, but he's done the damage to enable Forrest to win out the round.
I'm surprised at that. Waylander with the AUG, with the bombing position as well, and full information as to where Forrest was positioned. You'd think with that AUG he'd be ready just to hit. I think just one bullet might have been enough, but not going to be the case. It will be 7-3. NiP squeak around through. They haven't broken the finances of Winstrike just yet. They will buy up into this, especially the fact they can get the AWP out. They're more than comfortable to do so, and NiP need to avoid the reset. If they can win this round, it might be worth 2. We will see. Forrest back on AWP, managed to get the opening pick before when he had the weapon, as Rez will flash out towards outside. You can see the fact they have an SMG. You're going to send Norbert up close. Norbert protecting this on the Dupree ledge there. And it's an actual inside focus here. They're working for an initial pick. So they're hoping NiP will go for a solid default here, meaning they'll try and get control of Brown Halls. They've got plenty of players this side of the map. They've got the orb towards lower ramp, Norbert on the ledge, and then a player towards upper as well. Get Right surely goes down. That's the pick they wanted. They can upgrade to an AK-47 to Norbert now. He'll wait. Doesn't want to grab it just yet. Doesn't feel comfortable in doing so, but they'll take the advantage all day long. And now it's up to NiP to work out where their pick can come from, presumably playing around Forrest, who has the sniper.
Has it, but he's not really being aggressive or assertive with it at this point, is he?
Not right now. They're going to go inside again.
So boost Forrest. Now they'll start to try and make something. We're always going to get one. Oh, he did. He got it through the barrel. Doesn't even register as a wallbang, by the way, which means there's 0 damage lost from that. It's essentially a texture with absolutely no physics properties. Physical properties. English. Norbert backs out, smoke down, aware of the fact that he's well and truly got company on the other side of it. He'll play the safe game. Lacro gets aggressive to try and find it, but back the other way. They thought that pick was enough. Catching a rotation off. Perhaps it was going to be someone leaving the A site that was going back over without information. They were wrong to assume because Boomich down below shuts down 3.
7 seconds, it's all done. That was enough, and Boomich again finding big kills there. This time towards Pop Dog. They come down one by one, and he devours all 3. He didn't expect the 4th, and who would, to be fair? It was NiP at the last minute call to head back towards outside, and without the utility, just had to drop down and hope for the best. Didn't go for the totem drop, just went straight down, and it really didn't work out for them. That is the reset coming in once again. Dennis saves an AK. He's got $1,600. The rest of his teammates broke. They're going to be eco next round regardless. They might as well buy up into this, as Lecro will join him. P250 HE. Are the rest of them fully invested? Get right is. Forrest will as well. Was, yep, indeed. They are going to spend every dollar they possibly have. P250's a Deagle and saved AK. Need a huge performance here from Dennis, as these rounds just keep getting reset time and time again. A chance though, a slim one from NiP with 1 smoke available. That'll be deployed momentarily. This is the flash from Forrest to set his teammates up. Presumably there's bounce off this, and this is what they need to do previously. They're not getting burned in the bottom there. Get right. Surely spotted them.
Yeah, they get away with one on the ladder, and the fact that they still had the mindset to check that could have cost them a lot. If they thought those Molotovs were well placed, go down, standing there again, 2 players in fact. It doesn't work out. Winstrike's going to get away with it. Get right, already tagged from previously climbing up and down on the ladder, is still standing above it with very little to work with. 1 on 4. This is an important round for Winstrike in that, sure, they don't lose anyone. They have NiP on pistols, but they start to build their money back, because they themselves are not exactly in the most comfortable position.
That's a good point. They won a nice clean round here, and it looks like they've got it. Get right. Surely can't get more than 1 kill here, if that. Just using this as a chance to discuss their options. They are going to be eco next round. This was the full investment. They pretty much had to do it. For those unaware, when you get resets, that means you get $1,400 for the next round. Even if you take a full eco there, you only get $1,900 for the next subsequent round. That's still not enough for a buy, even on the T side. So you might as well just take the force buy then, and let the loss bonus rack up, and then see what can be done. This is Get Right going down. 5 players do survive. For the CT side, the money starts to get in a very comfortable position, even more so after this next round where NiP will have to take the full eco head. Maybe a flashbang at the very most. Same approach towards inside perhaps, but I feel like Winstrike will be ready for it, as they don't want to let that plant come through and boost the chances of NiP, but they're looking very good right now. Winstrike, certainly a competent team, but I'm sure almost everyone had NiP as the favourites going into this one, as Lecro got a Deagle. Just a Glock for him, so nothing really precious at all. They spent $300 in this round on a P250. Get right, considering a flash perhaps. Essentially AFK right now, doesn't really matter too much. Still there in spawn, maybe having a sip of water, we'll see. He's back.
Yeah, it certainly is. Pistols again. And again, I mentioned it, all 5 staying alive. They can try and do that again this time. They're going to be in a very, very solid position to close out the half with weapons. 13 rounds, it pretty much should be anyway, but they'll have full buys all the way through. It's quick. Continuing to put on a fine display of accuracy and efficiency as well, as Waylander will also find 2 at now 10-3. So NiP, if it was back and forth at the start, it's kind of slipping away from them now.
They still have a chance to get 10-5. Like we said, that would be enough, but they've got to get there first. Once again, kind of for the AWP, it's Forrest who's delivered most of the fragging power. He's the only player on double digits. He had that nice clutch towards upper. Most of the rounds they've won have actually been very scrappy and come down to Forrest clutches. We've had 2 Forrest 1v1s to actually get those rounds on the board. If they didn't have those, they'd have nothing. And there's also that inside play with the rifle of Lecro and the Deagle of Dennis. So they haven't really had a convincing round out of the 3 they've won. And this could be better. Get Right's hitting some nice shots, to be fair. His aim looks pretty crispy today. And surely Waylander goes down here. NiP 5 versus 3. This one has to be converted. If they let this one slip by, I'm not sure they can recover.
Quick down below, waiting on the AUG with Boomic already moving back out to the front of the site. Norbert has an AK, so they're pretty well equipped, but down 2. NiP looks poised to take a round away and make this 10-4, 10-5, certainly a workable situation as Forrest waits at Ivy in case anyone wants to head out in that direction.
The way Boomic has been playing so far, I don't think this is a done deal. He's been fragging so hard. 15 kills to his name after 13 rounds. It is recovery mode though for Winstrike, and NiP are being very patient indeed. They've got one smoke remaining and an incendiary. Electro joins Forrest towards the end of Ivy. Looks like an outside pincer maneuver here, but time is of the essence now. They've got 30 seconds remaining, and Dennis has to recover the bomb from the vending machines. It looks like inside will be there. Port of call here. Is that going to work out for that? I think inside is completely open, and indeed it is. That will be the move now. Quick can actually shut this down. If he kills Dennis here, that's the bomb now. If he can get this kill, he actually might win the round. 15 seconds remaining. He just needs to stay alive at this point. This would be unprecedented if he can make this work. 10 seconds now. The bomb cannot be planted. His teammate just needs to survive. Will they be able to find Quick? He needs to run. He needs to get the hell out of there. Get the knife out. Run, my friend. Get the hell out. 1 second remaining, and he's done it.
Oh my God.
Quick has actually pulled it off.
Not only has he done it, he nearly got an ace doing it after the time expired. He got 1 kill after the round ended. Lekro gets absolutely nothing, and the single kill on the bomb was the entire round.
That's so nuts. I was kind of just building up saying, right, finally NiP have done it. A clean round's happening here, but then I noticed that bomb in the vending machine area, the bomb should not be there. That is a horrible position to recover it from, especially if you've got no inside presence at all. Dennis grabs it, and he sees he's got no time left. He has to run like an elephant through those halls, and Quick and Pogba, he's like, well, the only way I'm going to win this is by surprising them. Not a fly up this ladder and hope for the best. They catch Dennis in transition. He gets that kill. It comes down to 1 second that separates the round, but Quick did enough. He realized he had the knife out, run towards lower ramp, pull it off and remove the money and the round completely. Unbelievable scenes. That was the only way they could win that round was down to the timer, and that's going to be absolutely gut-wrenching for NiP. You do not want to lose rounds like that when you're already so far down. It's the final round of the first half, and that's going to tilt them off the face of the planet. 3 rifles, one of which is a Galil buddy, any utility, and my God, NiP really struggling now.
It's a long. Waylander has the AWP in position, spots the flash, gets off it. Surprisingly didn't hit that shot. I thought he was pretty damn close, but they'll get down the hallway. He's aware of it, looking for the server boost. And he wasn't ready to peek wide. Had a lineup too. That could have been a massively punishing shot. Now instead it's a trade, but finally Boomic pulls it around. You're right, he's playing absolutely excellent. So too is Quick. They've been the standouts so far in this game. And Get Right. He's left in a 1-on-3 with a Deagle. Boomic tags and preserves himself. Very smart, in fact. Molotov and Get Right in on both sides. They're just holding him at bay. Has to go through flames even when he gets through the smoke, and Boomic is able to get away.
Yeah, he is not known to be an AWP. As the grenade comes in, it looks like his time might be done here. Nice shot. 2 versus 1. If he pulls this one off, at right at the half-time point, it could be enough to actually excite his teammates, but that was disastrous for NiP. They only get 3 rounds. Remember, 2 of those were Forrest 1v1 clutches that were really touch and go as well. A scrappy half from NiP, and that round, that was penultimate to the final round there, was so crazy. I can't believe it. Let's take a break and calm down and see if NiP can come back. We'll be right back.
Another one-sided scoreline to start off our day, but it's 12-3. It's not as bad as the last one. NiP, maybe with some magic, can pull it back. Do they still have any magic tricks left?
I'm not sure. Quick certainly does. 22 kills in the first half. Boomage not far behind, I think, on 18. So that was absolutely wonderful from them. They looked so strong on that CT side, and that disastrous round towards the end really will sing the morale to an all-time low. And we'll see World at Co with the outside execution. This is more what I was talking about in the first half, but I was expecting from NiP. They are getting the first pick, though, and it's Plan. Dennis can deny this. He does. He'll go down. It actually does get the Plan, so it's still always going to be a winnable round here, but maybe not for long, as Waylander left in an impossible situation. Surely he'll be dropped momentarily. And there it is. Finally, a positive. That's got to be the most convincing round we've seen from NiP the entire game so far. I'm in round number 16.
Yeah, absolutely true. The fortunate side of round 16 is that it's a pistol round, and therefore they'll get a little bit of momentum moving into the next round as well.
The bomb got planted though, Matt. We do know the CIS teams do enjoy a force buy. They could actually bring out Galils and Deagles here if they really wanted to. I don't think they will, but it is an option. But most teams will take an eco here and get a real strong buy next. They could even bring out a world at AWP in that next round.
Yeah, Boomage has already bought a pistol, so that's revealed.
Oh, there you go. So BD50s, yeah, world over 3k as well. And he could actually bring out the glass cannon if he really wanted to next round. If they get a plan here, he definitely can. We'll see if they can get it down. No flashbang, but they'll go with a similar approach that we discussed before. Head towards inside, trade out that one kill. It's normally Get Right who's there alone. He drops his nice little smoke usually to give him a one-way. That's not the one-way smoke, that's just to block them off. And they're going to go towards upper. Dennis is luckily there to back them up. So they just need one kill here. They need one trade to get a plant. There's the trade. So surely the plant comes in now. And this is massive. That means the ore potential is off the scale now. So they won't win this round. Definitely not. But that plant alone gives each player on the team an extra $800 going into the next round. So it falls apart. It looks like a really convincing round for NiP. That's actually a bit of a loss for them. They did not want that plan to come through. So they know they're up against it now. Luckily, they have got a nice array of rifles. They've got those 3 or 2 AUG and then 4 Resin UMP, which is fine for certain positions. And they'll have to bring out another rifle for Get Right. But World at it now definitely can get the ore pal. Perfect round by them. And they'll be hungry for this one, knowing they can cause absolute chaos. As we move into the first gun round here, NiP might have to deploy an aggressive maneuver, maybe 3 towards inside or push towards Ivy just to get that opening pick. But the same reasons we discussed in the first half, they know they have a bit of a disadvantage here overall. But to be fair, they actually get rid of one of the UMPs. I think they found a rifle right at the end. So maybe they play it like a traditional round. We'll see. They know the orb's coming though.
Absolutely, they've got to be aware of that. Armor with it for World Edit. Meanwhile, Rez, Forced, they're going to get aggressive. Waylander's still out toward A main. It's getting hot and bothered in there. In fact, they're taking damage. That spread enough that it caught them, and they weren't sure to move off of it. So Forrest could actually punish. Oh, World Edit with that op could punish them. You could tell Forrest as soon as he saw the op was like, yeah, I'm not even going to stand in that same position. You know, he might just shoot me through a wall. Rez with 2. World Edit, Waylander and Boomage go down. Rez still holding off as well toward the E-box. Good start from NiP.
That's all they needed. This is more like it. Rez now down to just 13 points of health as a first kill for Winstrike comes in. Dennis again with the team kill. It was him before that went down to that Molotov of a teammate. It's a 3 versus 3. Nice flank from Get Right. Not the cleanest of kills though. He only gets 1, but there's significant damage to Norbert. 2 versus 2. And more at it with the AWP. Remember, like we said, Train. HP not the biggest deal for him, but on the T side it's a little bit more detrimental. Lekro just offers himself up on a plate and Norbert is ready to just eat him a dinner there.
Let's watch this guy on the T side now that he seems like he's gotten some more positional awareness, that he can be aggressive, that he's not playing in the rotations or the back of the site. He's got 3 in this round. 2 of them came on 3 HP. He's going to allow World Edit to get much closer, both in the red. 24 for World Edit, as Dennis still has 100 to work with, a smoke and a kit. Keep that in mind if he gets close to the defuse.
Yeah, he has 1 kill in this round, but unfortunately that was on his teammate. If he doesn't check this close spot, he's done for. But he's going to spot the barrel and get the kill. So now World Edit, flashbang available. Dennis with the kit and a smoke. If he smokes the bomb and diffuses, I'm pretty sure he wins the round. He knows World Edit's the AWP, everyone does. It would take something remarkable at this point to World Edit to win this round. It looks like it's over, and the defuse comes in. Well played by Dennis. Luckily he had the smoke. If he gets his kill now, that's fantastic. Not going to happen, so they keep the AWP up, and their money's still pretty decent on the Winstrike side, and they have lots of reset potential. If they win this next round, they actually have control of the game to maybe even close it out.
It's a 4th round bonus with $800 for the bomb plant, so they'll full buy around the AWP. The AWP was the key to that, because World that has 40-50 wouldn't have been able to get it otherwise, but they're back into it immediately. NiP losing a number of players, they're almost actually worse off in this situation. If they lose this, they're broken, whereas it's still a max bonus for Winstrike.
Yeah, it'll be 13-6, and they'll be in double eco territory. So this is actually game dependent now. This round, number 19, could decide the fate of NiP. That's a really good game for them. If they can win this round, they're right back into it. The CT side, they can grind it out.
And we go from no ops to double op on the NiP side.
No Forest Orb, though. That's what I mean about the kind of inconsistency in terms of that roll. It seems a little bit odd, but Dennis is no stranger to the weapon. As you can see, nails that first shot. Can he find a second? Definitely not. And it's going back and forth here, but mainly in the favour of Winstrike. They've got an open B bomb site now. Get right gets nothing for it, and Rez has to be the hero here. Doesn't have the rifle. It's a UMP. And now, do they want to go for the retake here, Matt, or save the weapons and try and focus on the bigger picture, knowing this round is potentially out of their grasp? Rez might give the cue now to go for it.
Macro with one toward B, has no idea that Waylander is sneaking in behind him. He'll take him down easily, and then Forrest, looking in that direction, realizing the problem, is found from the top of the site. So Rez has to bail away. This is the worst case scenario right now for NiP.
Yeah. Bullying that inside bomb site. It's known they get right to the solo anchor usually. Even had Dennis to back him up at that point. Dennis hits his shot but traded out. That was actually perfect in one strike. That's trade potential right there. Yeah, teammate goes down and gives a nice clear call as to where the AWP's position. Well done, it's ready for the repeak. Takes him down and Get Right gets nothing. We find ourselves 13-6, and like I said, that's double eco territory. So, do you go for the force buy around this AK, or do you take the double eco? I'm not really sure. There's no real correct answer to this one. It's whatever they're feeling, and it looks like they're going for the force buy. So 13-6 down, one AK in hand. The Deagles will come out. UMP for Dennis. Get around the PG-50. It has to be down to Rez here. We've seen him be an MVP before. Right now they need him more than ever. And he'll have to find frags here. Be proactive perhaps. Get right alone towards inside as well. That it challenges Ivy with the AWP. Lecro doesn't challenge quite deep enough there to be taken down.
Now back away. At least the op will. From the Ivy position. Looks like everyone will eventually do the same as World Edit still probing at Hey Main. Don't know why I keep calling Waylander World Edit peripheral as I watch all the other action, because he's throwing a lot of utility toward the site as they climb up on top of the train and try and get position. They certainly know that he's there. Teammates already rotating through the halls above, bomb included. Two guns for NiP. Dennis has one, Rez has the other. That's rather obviously states that Get Right up close has to just use the pistol to try and hold B.
He's just fired a bullet as well. They know there's a P250 potentially solo inside now. Do they want to exploit that fact or wait for this kill to come in? It's quick. It was just positioned so perfectly. No one's really watching Ivy. They should be communicating that was a possibility. The fact they're watching it so passively and there's a potential angle towards Popdog, no one should be near that particular spot. A breakdown of communication and potentially the game at this point. We did say the previous one decides the fate as Lecro lives up to that Deagle expectation. Is it enough though? Probably not. It's now going to be a 4 versus 1. Get Right alone inside. They know where he plays. They fully invested into this. They'll be 14-6 down with money at an all-time low. They get $1,900 into the next round, Matt. And it's now 14-6. What do you even do here? Do you have to buy? I guess you can't let them get match point this early on. This is the best of one. And NiP, I'm sorry, this is just not the caliber I was expecting this major. It's been a couple of majors since we've seen them. I thought this time off, we haven't seen them at an event that recently. Thought would be coming in with new innovations and a fresh look at the game and firing on all cylinders in terms of the individual performances. But Red 6 and 17, especially one of the stars of this team. Lecro, the in-game leader, 8 kills. Those are the names we want to see at the very top of the scoreboard right now. But it's anything but. Full eco, didn't go for the force buy. They are essentially allowing Winstrike to get to round number 15 here and relieve a lot of pressure and allow them to close it out nice and early.
Shots out from the AK again from Waylander. Similarly, he's at A main while World Edit probes toward the Ivy position on the AWP. Standard set smoke Molotov cross reference. One left, one right. That allows Quick to clear the cubby up close. Waylander's still attempting to take down anyone challenging him.
Inside is clear.
Okay, that's confirmed. Waylander didn't even get any information. He spotted Forrest, but didn't know anything beyond that. So the fact that he has gone out and saw absolutely no one. They won't be 100% certain. There's lots of little hiding places on train.
Of course.
Probably more than any other, to be honest. But they'll go. They realize it now.
With that Molotov towards connector, that's round guaranteed. There's no way NiP win this now. Would have taken a miracle, even though they ran into the A stack. 15-6. Winstrike. He looks very good today. Quick there. 25 kills to his name, influential throughout this campaign. That crowd about to be dropped by him, I'd imagine. There it is. But at the CT steps, not even giving anything away. They don't need the cash, they don't need the kills, they've got nothing to gain by taking these players down. They just want to make sure they stop them having AKs in that next round. It's up to Quick now to find another kill, and he's just doing absolute work as he now looks to take down Get Right. Great shot as well. The precision. Didn't even need the headshot. Like, Get Right's at 1 HP, and he still rails him right in the dome. And we're going to see Dennis look to steal away an AK. Not going to happen. Clean sweep. And that's one round required for the win. 9 in a row from NiP to take us to overtime. Just not going to happen, is it? That money's still relatively broken at this point. I'm not sure they can even bring out 5 rifles. Have a look. Maybe they can just about get that.
Yeah, it's going to be a massive challenge at this point for them.
Forrest with no utility. He went for a helmet instead. If a smoke, that's really interesting. You should just
considering you're going against AKs and an AWP.
Yeah, you don't need the helmet there. You should just get the smoke instead. Smoking a decoy would be better than the helmet at this point.
It's questionable. Maybe something magical will happen where they have to switch to a pistol and that saves him.
Well, he's dead now.
Never mind. The helmet did absolutely nothing against the AK-47. Lekro gets one on the AUG back, but then it's all immediately after. Winstrike, because they are about to swing the winning strike, it seems. Get Right, the one they have to find, and find no more. They know where he is. Double smoke, why not, at this point, with 1:20. To limit his position, tries to flash himself back through, but it's over. 16-6, and apparently the coach is extremely ecstatic about that. The rest seem rather subdued, confident, and focused on the next game, because this was a one-on-one match.